Andy is with us in Dallas, Texas. Hey, Andy, how are you?
Fine, Dave. I've got financial peace.
That's good news, sir. Well, thanks for participating in our Millionaire Theme Hour. What is your net worth, sir?
$2.5 million, and I can kind of share. I've heard the questions. I can run through real quick if you just let me take a minute.
Sure.
I'm 58 years old. Let's say we're 58 years old. I don't want to wreck my marriage over the air, okay? We're 58 years old, been married 29 years. The $2.5 million net worth is 1.7 in retirement, about $400K in investments in cash, and $400 in a home. We have no debt. We've been in baby step 7 for 9 years. We've had no inheritance. When we got married in 1986, we were broke. And I love when you talk about the stats that you give in the classes. You end it with, well, and if I'm half wrong, you know, so-and-so. Well, I can tell you, you're not half wrong. I'm more than half wrong. This net worth ought to be triple this. So I ought to just follow the baby steps from day one. Our household income average for the last, since we've been married, has been $88,000, presently at $160,000. I'm a manager at a small manufacturing facility. My wife is a part-time ESL, English as a second language teacher. We did it all with biblical principles of giving, saving, spending. It was all about behavior. Our keys were just working together, getting out of debt. We haven't had a car loan or a credit card debt in 25 years. Now, I did some stupid, buying new cars. I made some really stupid decisions. I always think about this. If you got a PhD in DUMB, I'm at least a master's, okay? But we did, even through all this time, making somewhat not such great decisions. We stuck to a budget. We saved for retirement. And if you go back in time, I became a Christian in 1985 and married my wife in 86. Let me tell you, I married up, big time, over my head. I brought to the marriage $10,000 of debt, car loan, credit cards. She was raised on a farm. She was used to paying cash for everything. She won me over simply with her gentle and quiet spirit, the first Peter 3 principle. So together we started budgeting, communicating, working together, and in no time we paid off that personal debt, but we still had a mortgage. 5 years later, our son was born, which was an emotional time because we had 4 miscarriages along the way, so you got to know this boy was special to us. And when I read God's word about he gave his only son to die, it hits me right in the heart. At that time, my wife decided to stay home with him. So this was 1991. Now, our net worth at this time is still less than $100,000. This is 24 years ago. Well, we kept budgeting, we kept saving, we kept investing. Not as intense as some of your really gazelle-intense callers, which I love listening to. We made dumb decisions, Dave. I bought new cars. Even though I paid cash, I bought new cars. Not a good decision. I bought rental real estate in another state at a bad price. I bought individual stocks that went to zero. What I'm saying is, in spite of these less than optimum decisions, we're still putting money into retirement. We're still saving. We still stayed away from debt. Then, in 2004, the intensity started. And in 2006, when we paid off our mortgage, my goodness, that's when the wealth started to accelerate. Baby step 7. It was amazing. I looked up in 2011, 5 years later, my net worth was $1.7 million. Now, I'd already read the Total Money Maker, okay? And you know what my wife and I decided to do with that $1.7 million net worth, what we could do now? We went to an FPU class. Now, I got to tell you, in addition to the biblical, practical, effective method you teach, the entertainment value, seeing you run around on stage, was worth the price alone, okay? It was fantastic. So we are absolutely on fire. So the stats from last year, just to give you an idea, our household income was $160,000. I paid about $40,000 in taxes, which leaves $120,000. We gave about $35,000 to the church and other ministries. We saved about $35,000. So when you put those together, roughly $70,000. That leaves us $50,000. Now, we did have a kind of a tough year medically, nothing serious. We had a couple of surgeries, and $7,000 came off of it. That left $43,000. But let me tell you, $43,000 is a pile of money when you don't have debt and your taxes are paid. We had a great time. We traveled some. We enjoyed life. We had no financial stress. It was absolutely amazing. And so we are absolutely on fire now with the principles that you're teaching. The only thing you've done wrong is you didn't teach them to me 30 years ago,
So what part did giving play in the whole process over the last 30 years?
It was big. I mean, it's like you said, generosity just attracts. I tell you that the biggest things are integrity and generosity and just following biblical principles. It just opens your heart. And, you don't expect to get one for one when you give, but God just blesses you with just wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you do for a living?
I'm a manager at a small manufacturing facility. My wife is a part-time ESL teacher.
Did you graduate from college?
Yes, I did.
With a degree in what?
In chemical engineering.
And what was your GPA?
It was pretty good, 3.6, I think.
That's pretty good. Yeah, good for you. Excellent. All right, very good. That's fun. So, what do you tell people? What do you tell young people now when you run into these 32-year-olds and they really wonder if they can land where you're landing, if they can be 58 with a paid-for house and $2.5 million net worth?
Well, it's interesting you ask that question because, remember, I got a son, and he's married to just a beautiful girl. And I tell you what we're most proud of, Dave, is not that we built a net worth. It's not that we've given thousands to the church. It's not that we paid off our home mortgage. It's the fact that those two have embraced these principles. They're on fire. He's working at Chick-fil-A in Atlanta downtown headquarters. Mm-hmm. He graduated with a business degree and an MBA degree with no debt, and we didn't pay a dime.
Wow.
He took the ACT 7 times until he hit that threshold scholarship.
Wow.
His GPA is a lot better than mine. It's a 3.9, but he worked through college and did it on scholarships. Now she's going through occupational therapy school. They're cash flowing it. It's amazing. She's working full-time, going to school on the weekends, and they're cash flowing occupational therapy school. So this is what I tell people. I know it can be done because I see living proof of it right here. These are 23 to 24-year-old right here I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's very
And we are so pumped. We're doing FPU. We're going to bring Legacy Journey to the church, Smart Money, Smart Kids to our church.
Thank you.
This fall in Rockwall, Texas. We just love it. We just keep on preaching it, Dave. It's like a good sermon. Every time I listen to your podcast, it's like going to church every week. I need it.
Thank you, Andy. That's amazing.